this is kind of the kickoff for our campaign, because tomorrow night is the RIGOP state convention, and I expect to receive the nomination from that group. But I never take anything for granted, and now it turns out that we may have 3 people running against us in the primary, and we can't take that for granted either. So I implore all of you to be enthusiastic enough after I speak, even if I speak poorly, to realize that we have to win the primary and then the election. So I am counting on your support through that period of time and your enthusiasm. I spoke about 3 weeks ago with a guy named Gary Sass that I think you guys all know, and I spent a decent amount of time with him. And we talked about all the issues, and of course I'm focused on the finance issue. I have 35 years background in the financial services industries and have held various positions, and clearly I believe that finance is the issue. But Gary Sass disagreed with me, and I was shocked. I mean, here's a guy, 30 years with RIPEC, he knows all the stuff, and he said, no, what Rhode Island has a problem is with leadership. They don't have leaders. They haven't had leaders. Oh yeah, there's a few. There's a few that stand up to what's going on. Larry Earhart's a good example. There's a few swimming against the tide, but basically in Rhode Island we've had 40 years of one-party rule. 40 years to do whatever they want, to get whatever they want, to enact legislation to produce whatever they wanted. This is what they got. We have it right now. And I don't think anybody in any party can be satisfied with what we have right now. So now the question is, since we've had the leadership that's produced this, those guys clearly have to go. But who comes in and what do they say? Do we just replace them with people who believe the same things? Or do we replace them with people who have different backgrounds, different skill sets, different abilities and ways to communicate that lead the people in a new direction, that lead the people to do things that are smart for everyone? Well, I thought about, what Gary Sass said, and I said, we do have a leadership problem. And I thought beyond the state offices, which are so important to what's happening in the state. I thought to the federal offices. We have a whole federal contingent that has made no reference to or no support to any of the problems that are affecting our states as cities and towns go bankrupt. There was no reference by any of the people that are currently in office to it. One guy actually was part of it. One guy doesn't happen to be the guy I'm running against, but he obfuscated, he may have lied about the financial condition of our state capital. Now, is that the kind of leader that we want going to Rhode Island, going to the DC, representing Rhode Island in trying to turn around what is a very precarious financial condition? I have to emphasize to you, the reason I'm running is because I have a lot of years in finance and I have a lot of understanding what's going on, and I'm actually scared. Rhode Island cannot produce the Rhode Island miracle on its own. It isn't going to happen, at least not quickly on its own. What has to happen is this country, the United States of America, has to get its act together quickly. And they have to get on a path to growth. And the path to growth comes first with trimming spending in ridiculous areas and having an eye on getting rid of what is one of the most onerous tax codes that we can possibly imagine. That alone will increase capital investment and business spending and long-term thinking and take the dollars off the sidelines that we all complain about. That alone would be, if I just did that alone, if we just helped push in that direction, and we got somebody like Langevin, who's pro-large government, out, and he's perfectly comfortable with the current tax code. In fact, he'd probably like to add a few cents on here and there to somebody else. And you replace him with somebody that thinks that a simple tax code, a flat, low, simple tax code, with not 6,000, 7,000 pages, but just, 10. Or even you go far enough to the Steve Forbes model of a postcard. But the idea is to be simpler and take out the bureaucracy and take out all the greed that is embedded into the tax code. All of that lobbying money that goes into congressmen and senators and that revolving door with the lobbyists talking about, oh, I can get you this tax benefit, I can get you this tax loophole. We want to get rid of all of that. What we want to have is leadership from Rhode Island going to Congress and saying, look, we're the petri dish. This is what happens. This is the problem. We are Greece in America, all right? You don't want us to fail. You need to enact pro-growth policies. You need to have a stable dollar. I just lost one there, didn't I? Yeah. He told me, don't go into stable dollar and Fed policy. You'll lose them, you know, the whole thing. But, you know, that's what my background is, and that's what I'm interested in. But the real deficit is leadership. And I intend to lead, and I intend to replace the lack of leadership that's in Congress right now. And it starts now. And it starts tomorrow night with my nomination, and it starts now with you folks. And you guys need to be energized enough to pass the word on and to help me raise money and help me get volunteers. But I appreciate the fact that every one of you is here tonight and that you believe in me and that you believe in this cause. Thank you.